Hey there, hi there, what's going on? No, not yet. That's the intro music to the show, the fabulous show that is getting set up right now, because I just remembered I have this really groovy. I haven't even taken the plastic off this yet, but it's got a thing where I can put my phone in right here. Check it out. And then it's got a light on it right there. And then I just clamp it onto something, but I'm trying to make it work right now today, which probably wasn't the greatest idea because I started a little bit late, but maybe nobody's here yet, and we could even start all over again. Guess you can't. There are people already here. Hey, Julie Luce, William D. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear William D. Happy birthday to you. Am I frozen? What happened? Oh no, not frozen. I froze. Frozen. Hey, Tim Spitali, what's going on? How's your hand? Still don't know what happened, but I still hope that you're doing all right. Lynette Faber, hi. William D's birthday today. You're welcome, sir. You're welcome, my friend. Thank you for everything that you do. Hi, Heather Slade. My phone just dropped. Probably not a great idea. I have to find the right thing to clamp this onto, and that's too wide. And thank you all for being super patient with me for a minute. Just give me a minute here, if you don't mind. That works. Ooh, this might work. Ooh, I think we got it going on. I think we got it going on. If you're still here and you're still with me. All right. Well, it is Thursday, November 4th, 2021. 20 days until 21 days till Thanksgiving. 3 weeks from today is Thanksgiving. We decided to move the 1111th show to Tuesday, because it is really Tuesday, the 23rd, 22nd, 23rd. Somebody help me out here. Somebody scream for me, please. Hi, Lynette. Yay, it's William D's birthday. He does so much for this show and so much for so many people in the world. I'm really happy that you're here, and I'm happy that you're getting more birthday love. And this is the bomb, what I just figured out. Hold the wire for one more second, because now I have to plug in the light, and then I might not be as green. Cool? Can you just don't go anywhere. I just have to do something over here. Uh-oh. Everything's still plugged in and on point? Yes. Okay, check this out. We're learning together. Whoa, that's way too light. Whoa. Hi there. Hi there. Kind of a little different, right? Okay. Rob Morocco's here. That means Carol's here. That means, wow, more fun. Do you like my new upholstery? I thought I needed a little pop of print. I kind of like this. I think if I get a different light on it, let's see. Ooh, that's kind of dark. Ooh, that's off. We're doing, ooh, we've been here before. We used to do this back in the old days on the show. How's that? That's too bright. That's kind of green, kind of blue. Oh, I see there are 3 of those, and there are brighter of that, and then we can go lower there. At least now I feel like I can see me, which I don't really need to anyway. Yeah, we all do. We hope that, I mean, are you able to play? I know you were on a podcast last night, and I can't wait for you and Carl to get back on. Didn't I have a fun choir last night? I'll tell you what. Happy birthday, Shauna. Happy Diwali. Happy. Anybody else have a birthday today that I'm missing? I know. Is it Jeff's birthday is Saturday? Is his birthday on the day of his daughter's wedding? Somebody go adopt Cheeseburger. That's all I have to say. That's what I have to say tonight. Someone please. I asked Lillian. She wasn't having it. She's like, nope. Nope. One dog is enough, and it's me. So, if my friend Julie Cohen has not gotten Cheeseburger yet, someone from 1111, please. Well, Julie is 1111 too, but please go get Cheeseburger. Did you see her? Him? But please, when you do, change his name. Hair and makeup, please. Hair and makeup, please. Need some. That's my makeup. Hey. All right. So it is Thursday. Conversation with Creatives or Corona Roki International. April Bruce. Yay! Hi. Tonight is Conversations with the Creatives. My conversation with the creative tonight is, ladies and gentlemen, I love this setup right here. I'm so excited. Bonnie Barker!
Did I do it?
You did it. Perfect. Perfect timing. Yay! And I got my lighting set up, and I have my thing here, and I can see things, and it's all cool.
Yes, and your lighting is very beautiful.
Well, you know where I got it? I got it at Gross Out. I got it at Gross Out. It's a lighting and a thing to hold your phone at the same time that you clamp onto something. I was just trying to find something to clamp it onto, and I did. And my leg, but no, I'm just kidding. But it's perfect. I could just do this. I could leave 1111 set up right here if I didn't move every 2 days. That would be perfect.
Very cool.
What's going on? Bon. Does anybody call you Bon?
No.
Okay.
No.
Bonnie.
Bonnie. Everybody calls me Bonnie or Barker. Hey, Barker.
Yo, Barker, what up? What up, Barker? So yeah. I'll just start at the top. What did you have for lunch today?
Well, I was trying to think because did I have lunch? And I can't remember. And I went, no, I didn't have lunch because I had breakfast at noon. So there you have it.
What was your breakfast at noon?
2 poached eggs on sauerkraut with some organic chicken sausage, sage sausage things, which I usually don't eat, but I branched out today because I knew you were going to ask me what I was eating. So I
had to really be like.
So I had a really big breakfast. Lovely coffee, Life Boost coffee.
Life Boost coffee?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So you buy it online, and it's really low acidic. And yeah, and it doesn't give me the jitters or anything like that. It's really, really mild kind of coffee, organic.
Life Boost coffee. Maybe
Life Boost.
we could get them to be sponsors. We could get Life Boost to sponsor us.
Hey, there you go.
Why not?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Why
Where are they
not?
from? Do you know?
I can't remember some South American country, and I can't remember which one.
One of those.
But I usually don't drink coffee. I'm kind of a tea
I didn't
toddler.
think you were a
But
coffee person.
But I had some of this coffee one day, and oh man, I just love it because I don't feel addicted to it. I don't feel acidic. I don't feel, I just feel like it's just this lovely, wonderful drink in the morning. So,
And what kind of tea do you normally drink if you were to be drinking tea?
morning black tea, any kind of black tea or organic teas, or doesn't matter, whatever's in the house.
With dairy, no dairy?
No dairy. This girl does not do dairy.
You don't do dairy. How long have you not been doing dairy?
Probably 30 years, 35 years.
What was your turning point to end the dairy?
Well, I actually, I've been kind of a vegetarian not all my life. I didn't start eating vegetables or become a vegetarian until I was about 35 years old.
You ate no vegetables before you were 35?
No.
What do you mean?
No, all I did was eat hamburgers and French fries and whatever, and drink beer, and
But no, like you didn't have a salad, but really before you were 35?
No, never. And no
What?
vegetables. I didn't like vegetables.
You didn't need a thing of broccoli, like one spear of broccoli?
No. And then I got, I was an athlete. I was a runner. I played sand volleyball and swim. I lived in Hawaii for 20 years. So I was outdoors, and I was very active and athletic, and my knee started bothering me. So I went to the doctor. I think I was about 33 years old, and I wanted to find out, if my knee was injured. And this guy sitting behind this desk said to me, "Oh, that's something that's going to happen, that happens to all women, and you just have to learn to live with it." I was 33. You don't tell me that I have to live with this and that there's nothing that can be done. And I walked out of that place, and then I went and I started studying, and I became a vegetarian. I started eating vegetables, and I have never, I won't tell you how old I am, but I have never had any problems with my knees since then.
And that's when you just stopped eating dairy at that point as well? Hi, Suzanne.
No, the dairy came later, but I quit eating meat, and that was really one of the precursors for my body. I just don't digest meat at all, so that's why I say I became a vegetarian. And then I found out that I was actually kind of lactose intolerant too. So then I stopped eating dairy, and I just feel so much better without it.
Good. Well,
yeah.
Standing ovation.
I don't think we're meant to have dairy after we are weaned from our moms. We're the only, it's just not, it's not a natural thing for us.
Was your mom like not a vegetable cooker?
Well,
hi, Mom.
No, she cooked vegetables, and she was totally into salads every night. But and that was iceberg lettuce was what they ate in those days. When I was.
Lettuce has quite a bit of calcium in it, though. If you're gonna,
I think it's a dead vegetable myself.
But it actually has a lot of water and has calcium in it. So hey, Patty, hi, Mama Grace. But I mean, it's like nobody likes the iceberg unless it's a wedge with all the stuff on it.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah. So she would have a salad every night. She was always so concerned about her diet and losing weight and getting heavier and all that kind of stuff. And she liked vinegar. So she made these dressings. And as a small child, I couldn't stand not only eating those vegetables, but I couldn't stand vinegar. I was very finicky. I didn't eat any sauces. If they made spaghetti, don't put any sauces on it, only butter. And then I only eat bread and butter, and I only eat potatoes, my poor mother. She had a handful with me, I'll tell you.
And you and your brother were athletes.
Yes.
Track?
Yeah. Everything. You name it, whatever the season was, we were into it. My favorite sport up until I was 13 years old was football. Really? And my brother and I played football every single day. And he and I were great together. Unbeatable quarterback and receiver.
Okay. You played with other kids?
Yeah. It was the only way that I actually got my brother to like me and to love me and want me on his side or on his team, is because I was his equal.
Or maybe better?
I don't know that I was better. I mean, he was a year older than I am. And so.
So you guys went through all school together and everything?
We went through school all together. Raised in the Bay Area in suburbia.
Where?
In San Leandro, just south of Oakland, where you are.
So you grew up in the 510. What was the 415 then, or it was not even?
Right.
San Leandro, and you went to San Leandro High?
Yeah. I was born in Oakland on Pill Hill, and then lived in.
I just walked by there.
And then I lived in San Leandro for 23 years.
Did you ever live in Oakland?
No.
Berkeley?
But my grandparents, my grandmother and grandfather lived on 98th Avenue. Just over the line, San Leandro into Oakland. Yeah.
Yeah. And
San Leandro was an all-white community. I mean, there was real delineation between the whites and the blacks. Wow. They weren't allowed, the black people were not allowed to come into our city. They couldn't buy land there. They couldn't buy houses there. We had no colored kids in the school. I graduated in a class of 550 in my high school, all white, pure white. Yeah.
What a trip.
Yeah. Extremely. And yet my grandparents lived on 98th Avenue, which was colored neighborhood. It was interesting.
Where'd you go from there? Because you kind of took off.
Yeah, when I was 23 years old, I went to Hawaii. And as a young child, I loved reading about the Pacific islands and Tahiti and Bali and all. I just had this desire inside of me to go there. So when I got out of high school at 17, I got a job immediately, bought a 1957 Chevy Bel Air, coolest car ever. And then I bought a plane ticket and I went to Hawaii for 2 weeks on vacation. And when I got off that plane and I stepped down in the islands, I just went, wow, this is my place. This is where I belong. And it took me, I was 19 when I first went there. And then I actually moved there when I was 23. And I lived there for 20 years, never looking back.
Oops, no.
Yeah, I loved the islands. I wish I was there now. I just love the islands. So I lived on Oahu, I lived on Maui, I lived on the Big Island. I worked on Kauai, but I never really lived there. So I lived in all these different places in the islands and everything. It just was fabulous. Just love being there. Loved the Hawaiian culture, loved the spirituality. You know, it was just fun. Not only fun, it just was, I don't know, it just spoke to my soul and my spirit.
What was your first job there?
Working at the Reef Hotel in on Waikiki, in Waikiki, on the beach, selling trinkets to the tourists and playing all the ukuleles inside the place and just having fun and laughing and just being crazy. So basically, when I moved there, when I was 23, I had kind of lived kind of a sheltered life, and then I just all these new things happened, and you know, like, oh my God, I smoked my first joint. I drank beer with the girls. I just, you know, came
But
out.
still
It
no
started
vegetables
blossoming.
at that point.
No vegetables at that point.
No fruit, coconuts,
Teriyaki, teriyaki chicken and 2 scoops rice and 1 scoop macaroni. That was the lunch day.
no pineapple.
Not very much. No, I wasn't into heat. I wasn't into eating. I wasn't into health. Let's put it that way. I wasn't into any of that kind of
The
stuff.
teriyaki chicken.
I was into, and then I lived on the beach. You know, I lived in McKenna and on the beach.
Wait,
for
there's my
2 years.
ovation right there. I have a deep Levin connection for that part of the island. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you order 2 scoops? Say again. Teriyaki chicken, 2 scoops.
Teriyaki chicken, 2 scoops rice, 1 scoop macaroni. That was the standard kind of thing that you would get at the local stores.
And then
I don't know.
I there,
love it. Huh?
While you
and
were
then
there,
when I was there, I mean, when I moved there, which was in what was the year 1967, I think it was, or 66, something like that. No high rises, no condominiums, only that pink hotel on the Waikiki, and one other hotel was being built. There was nothing out at Kihei. Kihei was just solid beach, no buildings, nothing, you know. That was on Maui. So I got to experience the islands when they really were islands. And I got to meet all the local people, and the aloha spirit wasn't so hidden and underground like it is now. I mean, it was just full blown, and these people just they just took me in. You know, I met all of these local people through the Reef Hotel, and I got to go to all the luau's and the baby's first year birthdays, and I mean, it just, and all the music on the beach and everything. It was just fantastic. It was just a wonderful way to come out of being such a sheltered little child, so to speak. Very, very, yeah, great.
And
yeah.
While you were there, you just started body work. Did you start training there, or was that just something?
Well, I lived there 20 years. So over a 20-year period, I worked all kinds of different jobs. I had probably 3 or 4 different part-time jobs going all the time. I was a bookkeeper. I was a landscaper. I was a carpenter for 5 years. And I just did what I could do, and pretty much wasn't into being a career person of any kind or anything like that. And then when I was a carpenter for 5 years, and carrying a lot of heavy loads and everything, and I kind of screwed up my back. So I was in my 40s, I guess. And I had to start going to chiropractors and massage therapists, and that's where I kind of really got interested in healing work, and got that that was a natural vocation for me, that it just comes naturally to work on people and work on bodies. And so I took some massage courses, and then I was doing massage for exchange for a dozen eggs or bread and whatever, backyard stuff. And but that's where I started. And then of course this thing with my knee and everything, and then I started getting into nutrition, and then I started studying nutrition. And and so for the last 35, almost 40 years, I've been in alternative healing methods and been doing healing work. I met Elizabeth Kubler-Ross when I was 38 years old, when I was on Maui.
She was my hero from 6th grade.
Yeah.
I mean, Well, I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Oh, cool.
Well, she emotionally, I was kind of a mess. And my friend took me to one of her workshops and to meet her. And I met her. And that's when my healing, my personal healing started, when I started working on myself and found out that I was a very angry individual. And, I had a lot of pain and a lot of stuff that needs to come out and everything. So I went to Elizabeth Kubler-Ross's 5-day workshop. And she's a fireball. And she was doing like anger release work at that time. So we had these rubber hoses and these big, thick books and everything. And then she would get all 25 of us beating on these things and just getting this anger out and everything. Only she was so spiritual at that time that I actually went into this place that I absolutely didn't want to come back from, I spiritually went into another level of consciousness. And then she was always there, and then she would bring you back into your body again. But it was profound. That was my first experience with any kind of work that opens you up on a different level. So, and she was a fireball, little tiny gal, chain smoker, drinks coffee all day and eats chocolate, she just was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. So she started a program on Maui called Shanti Nalaya Maui. And then she was actually living in Southern California. So
Suzanne just said you're the best guest ever.
Who?
Suzanne.
Oh, thank you.
Best guest ever.
Wow, thank you. Wow. Do I get an Oscar?
Well, you can have another. How about another standing ovation? Well, we talked about this earlier. I want you to be here tonight, and I've been wanting you on the show for a while, but I also would like for you to come back as a recurring guest when you feel you can. I know there's a lot that we can talk about, so
yeah,
the invitation is.
Thank you, Jenna. Thank you very much. It's great. I was a little apprehensive about, oh my God, like seeing myself on TV.
Well, you've been watching the show. You've been on for a couple months now, I think. Thank you. All of a sudden I see Bonnie's there. Hang on, wave. Hi, Bonnie.
I know.
But I want to hear all the history, but I also want to tell people you're a Reiki master.
I am. I've been practicing Reiki. Reiki's a self-treatment. That's how I got into it. I've been practicing Reiki for 31 years. So I've been treating myself every day for 31 years. And when I first got into it, I was living in Montana at the time, in Missoula. I had my massage practice, and And I went to this teaching to learn about what Reiki was all about, because emotionally I was in a very dark place, and I broke up a romance, and I just was not in a good place. And so I went there, and an introductory class, and I thought, what is this stuff? But the thing that drew me was on the poster, it said it's a self-healing tool. And I've always believed, ever since I was a little kid, that we have the ability to heal ourselves, and that we don't have to go to the doctor, and we don't have to go to the hospitals. Sometimes, yes, we do, but I don't know.
Try not to, though.
Yeah. So I've had this belief system in me since I was a small child. And so I went to this introductory lecture. I was the biggest skeptic in the class, but something kept me there. And then I went through the initiation process. And the first initiation that coursed through me, gives me chills just think about it. This was the purest form of love and healing coming from the source, whatever the source was. And it came through me, and it's inside of me, and it opened my heart, and I just went boom, just like that. I went, okay, this is it. And then, so I've been studying it for 31 years. Mastery means, in the Reiki traditions, mastery means teacher. So there's a lot of Reiki masters out there right now. And I don't know what it all means for them, but I use the word master because I have been taught how to give this away, how to teach. And so mastery for me means I am a qualified teacher of Reiki. Doesn't mean I'm an arrogant person out there above you or anything else. It means I can teach this, I can give it away. And that's my commitment. And I committed to that till the end of my life. So I've been practicing it and teaching it for 31 years. And during that period of time, also, I kept my massage practice going. So I did massage for 25 years. So.
But I've asked you this, when do you do them at the same time?
Pardon me?
Can you do them at the same time?
Well, they're two separate modalities, but Reiki.
You are Reiki. Your hands are Reiki.
But so yeah, Reiki is flowing through me at all times. So a lot of my clients say that my massages are different than anybody else's.
My neck felt so much better the other day.
Yeah.
After.
Yeah. So the Reiki is naturally flowing through me. And yeah, it doesn't turn off or turn on. It just is naturally flowing through me. Because I'm open to it.
Because you're open. Yeah. You have to be open to it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But my massages are still, I have created my own intuitive style of massage. And then, of course, the Reiki is adding to that. Yeah. But it's not conscious.
You did some other interesting things on Maui.
On what?
On Maui.
Maui.
You did some volunteer work?
Oh, yeah. I worked in the jail and the prison system for 6 years. And it was through Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. She started a program inside the jail. So I was her acting director for Shanti Nilaya Maui, going back to that, which was about death and dying. So I was working with a lot of patients and people who were dying and working with the families. And that was during the whole time when HIV came to, to the planet. And we had all these, excuse me, young men that came and were either diagnosed with HIV or were afraid or whatever. And they came to Maui to do their healing and everything. And so Shanti Nilaya Maui and the Death and Dying program was quite prominent. And I was the acting director of that. And she also, so Elizabeth also started a program inside the Maui community jail, where we went in there and we would run a counseling group every week with the inmates. And it was all men. It was, there was no space for women to be in that jail at all. So it, there was like, it was totally overcrowded and lots of fear and everything going on. And so I went in there as a volunteer and I ran a men's group every week for 6 years as a volunteer through this program. It was some of the greatest work I've ever done, because I learned all about unconditional love. This was what I was supposed to be teaching them, and I got it myself. It was so amazing. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people in jail. And I didn't want to know what their crimes were. I didn't want to know what they were in there for. I wanted to work with the other side of them, that the sides of themselves that hadn't been developed yet, that they didn't even know about. And it was powerful. It was really powerful energy. And yeah, so I did that for 6 years as a volunteer. And then I had all these other odd jobs on the outside. I need to write a book. Yeah. I've had quite a storied life, actually.
You need to write a book. Let's all write our books.
Yeah. And I never think of it until people like yourself who are interested, they ask, and then I just start. When
did the horse part start for you?
Well, I secretly loved horses all my life, ever since I was a little kid. I mean, I think they saved my life when I was like 5 and 6 years old. So I was living in suburbia, which was all cement and everything. But thank God for the Oakland Hills, because I would sneak out and go up there. And there was this place behind my house where we lived called Jerry's Beef Burgers. It was this kind of famous. It was the first kind of beef burger place like McDonald's back in the old days. And go there.
Like Mamina's bar.
Yeah, and then you could go and they also had a donut shop right by there too. So you could go. So I would sneak there somehow. I don't know where I got the money, but I would sneak there, buy a dozen donuts, and then go into the Oakland Hills to the stables up there and hang out with the horses all day long. And I had no money. I couldn't ride. I didn't work. I didn't do anything. I just hung out and watched them and watched the people and just hung out, because I was so unhappy living in cement suburbia. I mean, I came out as a country girl, and I had to live in suburbia for 23 years first. So the Oakland Hills were my first experiences with horses.
That's cool.
And I did get to ride a couple of times, and I got thrown off really bad on the one of them. I remember. I didn't know what I was doing. I was kind of a daredevil. Oh yeah, sure, I can ride that horse. Put me up there. And
exactly.
Yeah. So I've always had a love of horses, and I owned a pony once, half of a pony, with a relationship.
parts of horses.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys, if any of you were here for the 4th of July parade that we had at the ranch,
Oh yeah. Yeah. That
Bonnie
was so cool.
Bonnie was
That was
leading
so cool.
Kelpie, their pony.
Yeah. That was so cool. You created that parade.
I'm like,
That was
let's
so
have
much
a
fun.
parade tonight. And Lisa and Katie or my mom are like, what? Let's have a parade. When? Today for the 4th of July. Let's have a parade. Oh, okay. Call Bonnie. We gotta have a parade.
We got horses. Katie rode
They played
Gerbato.
Psycho.
We had the pony. We had
Got on her
dogs.
flag shirt. Gracie was all added up. It was
Yep.
cool.
And Grace.
Lillian and
Yeah,
Cheryl were there.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun.
That's where
Yeah.
you guys, if you recognize Bonnie, Bonnie was walking with Kelpie. So you walk among the ponies, and then those donkeys down the street now.
Oh, I know. Aren't they cute?
Feral?
Yeah, well, no, they're not feral because they're fenced in. So
No, but they were feral originally, and then the woman.
I guess I don't really know the history of them, but they are so cute. I mean,
they're so cute. And
they're like these little miniature donkeys or something.
Crazy. I know Lillian was like, "Whoa," and we were both, "Wow, where'd they come from?" They're these blonde donkeys. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the show the other night with Ed last Thursday night, where the guy was the pet portrait guy.
No, I missed that.
You know
Sorry.
that there's a donkey rescue in Hopland?
Oh, I would. Well, I didn't know, but I can imagine that. Yeah.
There's a big donkey rescue right over the hill.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
I want you to come back. Will you come back?
I will. This has been fun, Jenna. Thank you so much for this. And so
you want to come back? You want to come back next Thursday? Or the week after?
Yeah, I think Thursdays would work. Thursdays work for me.
Yes, I'll be doing a couple other conversations in there and then a Corona Roki, but if you don't mind being flexible with me, I'd like to do that. And you can do Reiki over the phone, over the waves with people. Do you do that? Just curious.
Yes, I can.
You can.
Yes, I teach.
Say throw it, or how do you?
Yeah, the tradition of Reiki that I teach, there's 3 different levels: first degree, second degree, and then mastery. I teach first and second degree.
I have first. I took first.
You have first, which is Reiki, and you have Reiki for the rest of your life. Boom. But second degree is a calling. I mean, if you feel like you want to go deeper, it's called deeper consciousness. Then you take second degree, and in second degree, you learn about symbols that you can use, and you can also send telepathic distant Reiki with second degree. So it's a whole different level of the tradition that I teach. It's energy. It's all energy work. Everything is energy.
All energy, right?
Everything is energy. Everything. And it's fluid, and it's moving, and it's changing all the time. Nothing stagnant about energy. Keeps you on your toes.
So cool. So cool.
So,
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm
so
what?
pleased that we got to connect with Rick. Yeah.
Well, we first met at the Tallman.
We did. I was working at the Tallman Hotel.
Tallman Hotel, you guys. Where who's on here that was there? Anybody? You guys where Machiko and Paul and I performed?
Yeah. Yeah.
The Blue Wing, the Tallman. That's where I met Bonnie.
Yeah.
And Lisa and Katie knew Bonnie, and Lisa's like, "Oh, my friend Bonnie said she saw you at the Tallman." I'm like, "Your friend Bonnie? You mean tall Bonnie, the cool?" Yeah. That's my friend Bonnie. I'm like, what? Yeah.
And so Lisa and I, your sister, have connections that are so similar. I mean, we were in all these same kind of connections, but we never really physically knew each other, but know
And then
the same,
you and I,
a lot of
June,
the
with
same
June,
people. Huh?
with June Millington, when you said, "Oh," and then I worked with June. I'm like, I worked with
Yeah.
June, but you worked with June.
Yeah.
We're all connected.
And,
It's all
and
energy.
it's all energy. It's all energy. Yeah. So it's an amazing connections, amazing connections. And yeah.
So I'm happy that you're here. I'm gonna
Thank
let
you.
you go because it's 9 o'clock.
Oh
And
my gosh. Oh
that
my
means
God.
it's almost midnight for Mama Grace. It's 8:56 and it's 8:57 and it's still William B's birthday. William, I celebrate for 6 weeks. So I hope you keep, celebrating on and on and on.
Yeah.
And
Happy birthday.
happy birthday, man.
And
Thank
hi, Mama Grace.
you. She's here. She's here. But really, thank you, thank you, thank you. And do you have a letter for me, Bonnie?
Oh, let's do a S.
S, 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 S. I will say it for you too. Bonnie Barker doesn't have an S in her name, but she has spirit, and I'm so glad that she is safe and stay safe. Just like all of you, stay safe, stay healthy, and be real nice. Stay safe, stay healthy, and be real nice. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, William D. Oh, yes. And
Yeah.
I hope all of you have a beautiful night. And we will see Bonnie next Thursday night. So here we go, have spiritual thoughts and super good words and a smooth heart. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you, Jenna.
Thank you, Bonnie. Love hard.
Real hard.